Today, our All India OBC Students Association organizing a seminar on national dialogue on Caste Census, OBC reservations and constitutional safeguards. In fact, as the chairman of BC Intellectual Forum from Hyderabad, I am also one of the organizers of this program. So, what made us to organize this program and what are the objectives we are going to achieve through this program? In fact, in India, reservations are not a cakewalk for the OBC people. It was a long struggle. It took 47 years struggle to get reservations in Government of India. Though India got freedom in 1947, OBCs got reservations in 1993. Though it was adopted 1990, on August 6th, the VP Singh government passed a resolution for implementation of the Mandal Commission in respect of only employment. But it took 2 years to court to decide and again 1 year to implement it. In 1993 September only these reservations were implemented. So that means it took 47 years. In the initial days of independence, lot many posts were created. And because of no reservations for OBCs, OBCs have lost all those opportunities. What was the percentage of OBCs in 1993? It was only 4%. Today, our percentage risen to 23% in C and D categories, and AB category still it is only 16%. Just now our Wilson Sabai said how in the roster system OBCs are losing. He has also given a notice in the parliament that this should be discussed, the roster system. So similarly, in the state government, particularly Telangana state, it took about 26 years to get the reservation in the state government. But whereas in Tamil Nadu, they have reservations right from 1921. Justice Party has issued a GO in 1921 reserving 50% posts for the non-Brahmins. So that is how in Tamil Nadu from 1921 there are reservation system for the BCs, OBCs, and in India it's in 1993, and even now after implementation of this Mandal Commission in 1993, the 27% mandate reservation still not fulfilled. If you take non-reserved posts, particularly your vice chancellors, I have written one book. In that I have written data of every department, how much percentage OBCs are representing. So in that I will just say in central universities, there are 45 central universities, the OBCs are out of 45, SC1, ST1 and OBCs are only 7. Similarly, in respect of judges who are appointed from 2012 to till now, 78% of the posts have gone to only to the OCP. So BCs are only 12%. So that is how BCs are discriminated, OBCs are. And in respect of employment, if you take SC, STs, their representation is fairly good according to their population, because they have proportional representation according to their population. So why these OBCs are neglected, why they have not been provided reservation since from the beginning means the BCs have not been defined anywhere. BCs means backward classes. Who are these backward classes? How to identify these people? So it took 47 years till 1993. Because of that, we didn't get any reservation till 1993. In the first BC Commission, it was appointed under Article 340. It gave report in 1955, and Nehru, without looking into that report, he simply rejected that, and he did not introduce even in the parliament also. And everybody has forgotten about the BC's cause. And again, till 1978, nobody thought of appointing BC Commission at all. In 1978, again, because of pressure of Sardar Charan Singh, who is a Jat, and other Yadava community leaders, particularly Mulayam Singh and Lalu Yadav and Sharad Yadav, other people, that Mandal Commission was constituted by the Morarji Desai. Till that time, nobody was thought of doing anything to the BC. What happened in 1961, Nehru gave one memo to the states that we are not dealing with the OBC subject. It is the states who they have to decide who are the OBCs and you implement your own programs. Government of India has nothing to do with OBCs. That's the essence of that circular in 1961 Nehru has given. Basing on that only, several state governments taken steps to constitute their own BC commissions. and identify who are the BCs. So in Telangana state, if you take, they appointed in 1968 one commission headed by one Maharaj Parishad, and then he resigned and Anantaraman was appointed, who was an ex-IAS officer. So he gave report in 1970, and this was implemented by the government. Again, High Court struck down it, and in Supreme Court, that is the Balram versus government of AP, SV Balram. So Supreme Court held up that report, and since 1973, reservations for OBCs being implemented in Telangana state. Though Commission has recommended 30%, they have adopted only 25%. Why Mandal Commission also adopted 27% reservation? Not because of population. Mandal Commission already estimated 52% BC population, which includes 43% Hindus and 8.4 non-Hindus. That means total 52%. Because they are guided by the Balaji judgment, Balaji versus State of Mysore. In that judgment, Supreme Court held that reservation should not cross 50%. So in India, judicial system always acted against the interest of the OBCs. Judicial system, whenever OBC reservation comes, they think indifferently and act indifferently. Even in Mandal Commission, this implementation also, out of the 9 judges, 6 judges favored the Mandal Commission recommendation, and 27% again they kept the ceiling. But they have rejected this OBC EWS reservation. In 1991, P.V. Narasimha Rao issued one official memo reserving 10% post for the EWS people. The Mandal Commission, same bench which heard the Mandal Commission report, they also heard this Indra Sahani case. And in that case, out of the 9 judges, 8 judges rejected the EWS reservation. It is a anti-constitutional. There is no provision for economic basis reservation in the constitution. But again, in 2019, this government has introduced, and it is being held by as right by the Supreme Court. So, judiciary, whenever it comes to OBCs, they think differently. When it comes to OCs, they think differently because we have no adequate representation in the judiciary. So that is the reason this 50% ceiling. Actually, where is the ceiling in the constitution? There is no ceiling. But even though judiciary has intervened and they kept the ceiling 50%, they have also introduced a creamy layer during the time of the Mandal Commission. So this creamy layer concept also needs to be reviewed. Recently, Supreme Court has held up subcategorization of the scheduled caste. In that judgment also they mentioned about the creamy layer. The very next day, MPs of different political parties belonging to Dalit community, they organized a meeting in Delhi here itself, and they gave an ultimatum to the central government that they should not implement subcategorization in the Government of India posts, and they should not implement creamy layer. The very next day, Central Cabinet, they held a meeting and they passed a resolution that no, we are not going to implement subcategorization of Dalits in the central government jobs, and we will not implement creamy layer. Now they have given a memo to the state government that it is up to you to implement this subcategorization. So that is the power of the Dalits. If you come to the OBCs accepting everything as it is. They are not protesting it properly. Why the Dalits demand has been accepted by the government of India within one day. The very next day, they had a meeting here and they passed a resolution giving ultimatum to the government of India not to introduce subcategorization in the government of India posts and not to introduce creamy layer. But whereas in respect of the OBCs, if you see, they introduced creamy layer and they introduce subcategorization and everything, whatever they want to do, they will do with the OBCs because this is the only community in India which is voiceless in the legislature because we don't have enough representation in the legislatures. That is the problem. So now this is the time for us to fight. Otherwise, we will not get any employment in the government of India. Already, majority of the jobs have already been privatized. So now, whatever that little cake is there, if you don't have adequate representation, our people will definitely further suffer a lot. Already, for the last 77 years we suffered a lot. So do you think that again we have to suffer? So for that only we are asking caste census. First you do caste census, then you determine the number of these castes, and accordingly you introduce reservation system. Otherwise there is no meaning. In India, as long as caste exists, discrimination also exists. So if discrimination exists, we require reservation system to become equal with the other community. What is meant by social justice? Providing equal opportunities. Equal opportunities to all means that does not mean that a strong person, a weak person should fight with strong person. So there should be a level playing ground. So that is the reason this depressed and oppressed community, marginalized community for centuries, they require certain protection. That is the reason they introduced this reservation system. In spite of introduction of this reservation system for BCs, it was not implemented for 47 years in the central level, and in Telangana state about 27 years at the initial stage. And even today we don't represent 27% also even today. Forget about the legislatures where our percentage is just like only 10 to 15%. So now this is the BC communities have to realize what kind of injustice have been done to them during the last 77 years, and now they have to fight for their social justice. Otherwise, they will lose their identity. And as rightly said by Ambedkar, whichever the community it doesn't have power in the state, they will disappear. So these OBCs will also one day disappear if you don't fight it. So it is a time for us to fight back. And reservations have not simply come in one day. Because of lot of fight by several people, so many leaders, we got it. And for our rightful share in the state, again we have to fight and get back our share. So with this, I am concluding it. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.